This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
This meeting is being recorded, Troy.
Okay.
Do you consent to being recorded, Troy?
I clicked OK.
Right, guys, back on the old YouTube Reality Bites. So I'm here with my good friend Troy again today. And we were just having an off-camera discussion around particular subjects with things Troy's teaching me at the moment about, standing in my power, knowing who I am. And we've done a couple of videos based on this, but Troy just hit on something really interesting, which I just wanted to do a really quick video with you guys about and let Troy carry on from where I just cut him off in mid-conversation, which is how do you lose your power on a daily basis? Because this is one thing when you start challenging something, and because I'm going through the process of challenging utilities basically about who do you want, I've got this thing about my postbox. So every time a letter comes through my door and from anyone, it doesn't matter. I look and I go, is that a brown envelope or a white envelope? Because if it's a brown one, it's normally from somewhere where I know it's going to be, do you know what I mean, where I've not got any aggro at the moment. And you can hear my language, aggro. Yes. So I'm already winding myself up. And if I see a white one, I go, oh, here we go. And it does. Yeah. It like, I have to, when I drive down my road, I have to have a chat with myself. And I go, it's fine. It is absolutely fine. If there's any post on the floor when you get in the house, it's fine. It's absolutely fine because you do. Yeah. When you start on this little journey of starting to recognise who you actually are and that we're being screwed over left, right and centre, and you start standing back in your power. I thought I was a powerful woman until we started this process. Then I realised how much power I allowed to drain out of me on a daily basis, Troy, through little things that are, in your environment. And one of the major ones is post. So
post. Yeah. Now we could talk a lot about what post is. It's simply offers in commerce, or follow up to contracts in commerce. But the really fascinating thing is, and I don't think there is anybody who hasn't experienced this. So that's what makes it so good. And the goal, of course, is not to even need to have the discussion as you're driving down the road, but to know in yourself that none of your power, none of your is going to escape from you when you open that letter. And the discussion we were having was everyone knows the sinking feeling that they get when they see the envelope. So even without knowing what's in it, that envelope has the power to take your energy away from you, to unman you would be the word if you were Shakespearean, I suppose. Mm. And then you open the letter and you read it and you go, even if you're on this journey, there's and that is you surrendering. That's the physical and often emotional sign of you surrendering your sovereignty. And what are you surrendering your sovereignty to? A piece of paper.
Yeah.
And that is how deep the programming of the controllers, of the deceivers is. That's why they started public schooling in around about 1850. So that they could create a whole population whose would be de-energized simply with a piece of paper. And that's exactly what these pieces, that's if you like the dilemma and the situation that you start realizing even more when you're on this journey, because you've sort of upped the stakes slightly, haven't you? Yeah. You're sort of now in a situation where that letter could say, you are really naughty. We are going to get very annoyed at you for not doing what we told you to do. And the measure of how well you're doing, because this often gets worse before it gets better, is that first whatever comes through that door, I know I can deal with. Now that still doesn't mean that when you open that letter you don't get that of energy, the energy being taken away. And just think how many letters are being written and how many people are opening those letters, and how much energy is being sapped out of people just reading those letters. And many people get angry, many people get depressed, many people just want to ignore it. Many people think, I'll send the letter back. Yes, well done. That really helps if you don't know what you're doing. And this is all by design. Once you realize that these pieces of paper actually have no inherent, shall we say, sovereignty or power over you, that they are literally part of the design to constantly keep your energy levels low, resonating at a lower frequency, often not really being able to put your thoughts, your creativity, and do what you want to do. And that's why many people, I can remember years ago, someone talking about debt at the company where I was working, and she's really bright, really, brilliant sort of person. Jane said, well, we all know what we do, isn't it? We just chuck it in the corner and hope that it'll go away. And we were talking about the mortgage crash of the late 80s, early 90s at the time. So nothing is different. This has been around for a long time. And now they've got computers. They can literally fire rat-a-tat-tat at you with these energy sapping pieces of correspondence. And what you will learn as you go through this journey, you will get stuck. You will find every time I don't know what to do. That's why your energy is still going. I do not know what to do. And often I think I know what to do, but I don't want my partner or my children or all the other people who rely on me. I don't want them to be disturbed, shall we say. All this is all by design. All of humanity's best features are being used against humanity. Their empathy, you haven't got any money, but look at these poor people in another country who haven't got any water. Give of your taxed income to these people, regardless of the fact that we'll just go and create 50 billion out of thin air and go and give it to some country that people don't even know where it is. And people go along with that because they care. Is probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah, pretty much. The indoctrination side of it, Troy, like you say, through schooling. It's interesting. I was watching something on this morning. Obviously, I work in programming, don't I? So I'm always trying to get people out of labels, out of programs. Stop that shit. Stop that. And it's interesting if you think about, because we're talking about energetics and all the lower density beings, they need this energetic realm to be low density, low vibration. Yeah. So through us being taught certain ways of being, we're literally feeding it. So if we ever want to go up a level and we ever want to come out of this stuff, it takes like people learning, people becoming consciously aware of what has been going on. So yes, maybe they get angry to start with, but then they go, what is the remedy to this? Well, the remedy first is inside me, which is learning who I am and becoming balanced and happy and raising my frequency. Because if we all start bringing our frequency up and we're not sat in this feeding the lower density can't survive if it's got no food. It's the way I look at it. So it starts, doesn't it, on, recognizing I get a reaction like me. My reactions are getting less, Troy. I mean, consider 2 years ago when we spoke, I'd have a proper ab reaction to stuff. Now I don't, I hear it, I feel it and go, no, leave it out, breathe it out and just go, no. Do you know what I mean? Just another letter. But it is that it's learning to regulate your own energy, because it's a personal thing before a collective, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're never going to make any worthwhile decisions or actually be able to stand in your power if you don't the first and the last of the whole thing. I think the point to make is that once you learn, it's like you've got a light and you just shine the light on the deception and the deception disappears, because the deception is just darkness. Just just suggestions, just there's nothing real. So energy is light, and you are shining light, but it's almost you could say there's understanding that you are worthy of holding the light and then shining it, because these letters basically say you're rubbish, you haven't done what you should have done, you're obviously not earning as much as the fellow next door has got a nice big shiny car, you're worthless. And if ever I saw anything, I don't really watch the news, but I do hear it, and it's just about trying to convince people that they're worthless.
Yeah.
And these letters, they're very skillfully crafted. And people say, well, what's going on? People feel worthless. And everything, and it's a bit like, don't fool yourself. Oh, I'm great. Yeah, I can fly off the side of a cliff. Well, yeah, try that. And it's about realizing this is what is going on, and take in terms of maintaining your energy, dealing with these issues. And I would suggest, if you've got a problem dealing with those white window envelopes that cascade through your letterbox, don't try and take them all on at once. Sort it out, do the next one, sort it out. And by the time you get to the third, you'll find half of them have disappeared. And in that sort of, be conscious of what you have to be conscious of what you're doing. I
think that's why I've started with one, Troy. I've started with the one and just thought, let's get, because I've had to get the hang of who I am to start with. And that was bad enough. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When you start learning who you are, and then you suddenly discover that you've been screwed over your whole entire life and so many other people. And it's like, oh, right, I've got to get into that one first.
And you forget. You're constantly forgetting, because this is almost so novel that you have to remind yourself. You get that letter, you'll forget. You get your partner saying, what the bloody hell have you done? You'll forget. And you'll sort of regress. Well, you will and you won't, because what you're doing is you're building the confidence. And it is small steps. It's like, what can I do today? And be on the lookout for these sort of positive, shall we call them positive affirmations? Because the universe is always showing you stuff if you're prepared to look for it. And take that opportunity to talk to someone in the queue about something, or take the opportunity just to realize that being part of any particular social network that you may be on that's frustrating you is probably not a good idea. Get off it. But get onto something else. And I know if you were like me, you get all these things. You got this great big long list of things to do today, which, set up trusts, make sure I do this, do that, do the other. And yet the lessons, you probably have already seen every lesson that you'll need to see. It's just that you didn't see them all as you passed them by, and you'll need to go back and you think, oh, I didn't remember that being hidden between that and that. And the resonance helps with that, I think, as well, because the things resonate. It's a bit like if you start resonating a certain way, then the piece of information is resonating back.
It does. So, it does. It really
that might sound a bit sort of woo-woo magic. But
no, it does. It's the same as, we say about the energy. The person with the biggest energy, like positive or negative, who walks into the room will have the biggest impact on people. It's like the mood hoover scenario. Someone walks in who's, really in a bad mood, and then all of a sudden, unless everybody's determined to override that, you'll just get, oh God, let's not do that. But if someone walks in who's really happy, it tends to either bounce people up or piss them off a bit. But it is about, like you say, it's taking those the first thing is recognizing, isn't it, Troy? Really, it's just becoming aware. Yeah. Becoming aware that that things haven't been quite right and we can change them bit by bit. But
Yeah.
recognizing, like you say, the signs, the synchronicities that come in. You say about the universe always shows you it does. When I feel like I've got two little things that happen, and it just makes me chuckle because they appear anywhere. White feathers and
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
But it's never 1p's, it's always 10p's for some reason. But I will get, like, I'll be sat in my car,
Yeah.
the roof will be shut, and I'll be sat there and I'll have thought about something and gone, just give me a sign, it's all good. And literally there'll be
Yeah.
a white feather will just fall down next to me in my car. And it's like, well, that's just something that there's no bird flapping around in my car. Or I'll get out and look straight down and there'll be a 10p. And it'll be like, right, they're my two little things that just
Yeah.
go, you're on the right path, keep going. We all have them, don't we? Those little things. If you, like you say, if you pay attention.
I, and I think we do, but I don't think people should overly concern themselves about looking for them. Or I haven't got any affirmations. That means just follow your nose. Everyone's got a different nose and a different way
Exactly.
through this.
It's sitting
Just
in the now,
because
isn't it, Troy?
person
That's the
A
one thing.
says, "Oh, it's like this."
Oh, sorry, I lost
Yeah,
you a
that's
little bit
very
then.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, it's sitting in the now, isn't it? I think that's the one thing
that's
I've
right.
learned. I sit on my bed and I go, right now, right at this moment now, is everything okay? And I go, yes. I go, there you go.
Yeah,
Crack on. Simple as. You're going to show us a book, then we're going to have to stop this
it's
one because I think we're going to run out of time on our cheap Zoom meeting. What book have you got there?
it's. No, I was putting the phone away from the laptop so it doesn't disturb the
I
signal.
thought he was going to grab out
That's
a
all.
book and give us a bit of wisdom. I'll say the power of now is pretty much where you need to be and just focus
Oh,
on.
I've got that somewhere. I've got that's one that's easiest to.
Oh, one of
That's
Eckhart
another
Tolle's,
book
yeah.
by him.
Yeah, he's written some good books
Yeah,
actually, he
because
has.
he's done the book. He's done a book called The Power of Now, I think, or
He
something
has,
like that.
yeah.
But I've got the power. I've
Yeah, I
seen.
also had one called The Power of No,
Anyway,
which
but
wasn't by him. It was by someone else, but it was a fabulous book. And as soon as I
that's
read
good,
it,
no?
I remember walking out the house and someone rung me and asked me if I'd go cover a basketball coaching session. And I was like, well, no, actually, I have plans.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I'd used the power of no. And they just went, oh, no worries, I'll find someone else. It was like, how easy is
Yeah.
that just to say no?
But
So,
what I would say is this journey requires effort. You don't
yeah,
sit there, meditate in the middle of your front room, and white feathers start cascading down. Right? You've got to get and push stuff, and it will push back. And you do get as much as you can handle, and that means you can also reduce what you're handling. And at the moment, I would say, well, everyone's in a sort of state of almost constant shock and dilemma because of the way the society works. So what you've got to work out, and what we're doing here, the first thing is, well, this is how you're allowing yourself to be part of this society and not control it. Now, because I might know that, you might know that, half a dozen others might know that, but the vast majority of people think that what Keir Starmer says goes, or what President Trump says goes, or whatever leader. Now, that leadership is not telling you what to do. Opens another sort of complete. But,
yeah, that's another subject,
part of it.
another day. But
I think the bottom line is people feeling that they are powerless. And I think what we're saying is we have given and do give away our power. And this was just a small example of something we take for granted, but which is in fact a really good example to see how your power is being given away.
yeah, so the
And
advice,
something that I think everyone would
100%. And I would say to anybody watching this, just start becoming aware of all the places you give your power away, where you get that little feeling of anxiety if you don't want to
yeah.
go out, say no. No, thank you, I have plans. I say that to people now. My plans are I'm going to lay on the sofa and read a book.
Yeah.
but they don't need to know what my plans are.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not lying. I have plans. So, and it's just notice where you're bleeding that energy out, and you can keep it for yourself and start powering yourself back up, and you will feel better. And like you say, day by day. Have you got a little nugget you'd like to leave everybody with, Troy?
No, I don't think. Well, I was just going to say that any interaction with any what you call alphabet agency, which for those government agency, okay, government exists to drain you of power. That's all I'll say.
And we'll leave it there, and I'm going to make some notes, and we'll come back with another one. So thank you very much, as always. Thank you guys for watching as well. And
we could discuss.
And if there's any other questions, leave them in the comments, and we will get back to you. I do keep checking for questions. So I'm just going to stop this video here. Thank you all for watching.